What if bacteria evolved to human size overnight? This question comes from Daniel, who asks, what would happen if bacteria suddenly grew to human size? The short answer is, we'd have a very bad morning. At first, you might not notice. You'd wake up, scroll through headlines like mysterious blackout or strange tremors until your window went dark. Not from a storm, but because something bus-sized just leaned against your wall and breathed. To understand what's happening, remember, bacteria are everywhere. Inside you, on you, around you. They're harmless mostly because they're small. If they became human-sized, we'd have billions of enormous microbes standing shoulder to shoulder across the planet. A typical bacterium weighs a trillionth of a gram. Scaled to 2 meters, it would weigh 10 million tons, heavier than a skyscraper. The moment they grew, most would collapse under their own weight, turning into puddles of steaming biological goo. That's the optimistic version. The less optimistic one? Some survive. Bacteria like Deinococcus radiodurans can live through radiation. Now imagine it the size of a house. Bullets or tanks wouldn't matter. An E. coli, which divides every 20 minutes, could fill cities with mountains of quivering cells before breakfast. But scaling breaks biology. Bacteria absorb nutrients through their surface. Once they're human-sized, diffusion fails. In minutes, most would starve and collapse into stinking piles of protoplasm. The apocalypse would be short. Hours of chaos, then silence and cleanup. Still, those hours would be spectacular. Golden staphylococcus spheres rolling through streets, rod-shaped Bacillus anthracis stretching across city blocks, and Vibrio cholerae swimming through subways, faintly glowing in the dark. The smell would be indescribable. As tons of decaying microbes collapsed, gases like methane, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide would choke the air. Within hours, the atmosphere would turn toxic. Weeks later, scavengers, fungi, insects, and maybe a few humans would take over. Fungi would thrive, feeding on oceans of microbial remains. The planet would turn into a carpet of mold, then slowly stabilize again. The surviving bacteria might evolve back down, learning that smallness is the key to survival. But before that, there'd be odd moments. A giant lactobacillus peacefully spooning yogurt in a ruined kitchen, or a massive E. coli holding up a stop sign, confused as two others bump into it. Civilization would briefly belong to the microbes, slimy, clumsy, but in charge. And somewhere, a surviving scientist might write, "We wanted to understand bacteria. We just never thought they'd want to understand us back." By the end of the week, the world would reset, cleaner, quieter, stranger. So what would happen if bacteria evolved to human size overnight? Everything. And then, very quickly, nothing.